Florabelle's banner just dropped and I used about 22,000 diamonds on my main account to give her a shot. I got her all the way up to Legendary, and we will be looking at the comparison of her damage while she was Epic, and then at Legendary in Dream Realm. And later with Legendary we will also test her in Trial of Abyss, which is the endgame of this game. So it is a good place to test her and for you to know if she is worth the investment for your team. My results with her has been great so far, and I will show you how I have been using her. Also make sure to press that sub button if you enjoy my content. I'd really appreciate it. I also saw someone post a picture of her damage on Discord at Supreme Plus, and it looks like this. So it really does look like a promising new summoner. As for her skills, it seems pretty good and she has really good synergy with other summoners, meaning Cecia, and most players invest into Cecia as their first damage dealer, so I can't see her being a bad hero to get for Cecia. But speaking about skills, let's go through them and I will give you my insight about it and then we'll have a look at her in action. Florabelle has a passive which summons Spinny into the battle, which has 80% of Florabelle's max HP and it deals 60% damage with normal attacks. Spinny will retreat to the path when defeated and will respawn after 10 seconds. Then her ultimate, you will summon Smashy, dealing 300% damage to all enemies and it will knock them into the air, so it will stun them. It has way more HP than Spinny and way more damage. The problem with Smashy though is Smashy takes double damage from while under control effects. She also removes all debuffs on Smashy and heals to full HP, commanding Smashy to smash the target area ground again. This is when he's still alive, I assume, and you use this ultimate. And as you level it, everything will just deal more damage. So that is her ultimate. Then she has Overgrowth, which will give the strongest target that she has summoned for 8 seconds Life Drain and Haste. Now there is an order Smashy, Swifty and Spinny. Now Smashy is the strongest, then Swifty and then Spinny, so that's why it has this order. It seems pretty fine. It seems to have a 4-second downtime, which isn't that bad. Then she has the summon for Swifty, and Swifty has a 6-style attack range and takes 45% of Florabelle's max HP, so not a lot. Normal attacks are 80% damage, and casting this skill while Swifty is already on the battlefield, Swifty will do rapid fire attack in random targets for more damage. So this seems like the damage dealing summon. So she has 3 summons. Then once you get her to Legendary Plus, she will gain a lot of attack, and I have to say this makes a huge difference. I can see this when we looked at the picture earlier of the Supreme Plus Florabelle. Then Mythic Plus is probably the one you really want her to be at, where she gains this new, I would almost say passive. Grants a nature blessing to allied summons upon their entrance to the battlefield, providing them with a permanent shield which is equal to 280% of Florabelle's attack. The skill can be activated once every 0.5 seconds. So this will work on Cecia. It's not only her summons but also other summons. So that is really good. The shield gets stronger later and later feeds the allied summon with the highest attack with an unwiped Petal Plum when Florabelle casts Overgrowth, which is the first skill she has. This transforms the summon into a giant, increasing their haste and life drain. So if you have her on Mythic, she will also be able to buff other summons, but below Mythic she can only buff her own summons from what I can see here. So that is something really important to point out. And the shield just gets stronger and stronger as she gets stronger equipment. And then I mentioned earlier that Smashy will take double damage while under control effects. Once you get her to Supreme Plus, she can give immunity to control effects to her summons. So this isn't that important for PvE, but in PvP this will be really good, I think. So I really think the more you invest into her, the better for PvP she will get. So to sum her skills up, she has her ult that stuns, and this will also bring out Mashy. She has a buff for her summons giving life drain, which is really good, and haste. Then she has the summon for the archer, which is her third summon, so 3 summons in total, which is a passive. Then she gains more damage from Legendary Plus. Mythic Plus allows her to buff others and get a shield for summons. And Supreme Plus just giving that buff immune to control effects. Overall, I think Florabelle can be really good in some situations. Let's see it in action. So first we are going to test out Florabelle in Dream Realm at elite level, and her damage was okay, but it wasn't that great if you compare it with Cisia. So she definitely isn't an insane damage dealer when she's at the lower tiers of levels. She did about 2.5 million damage. Cisia did more than double that. Okay, let's have a look at it when she is at Legendary. And as you can see, the damage increased to about 3.6 million, so a pretty big change for just getting Legendary. At Legendary Plus, remember, she gets way more damage from her passive. I think that's where she will get a huge damage boost. The damage doesn't seem terrible at all for Dream Realm. Let's have a look how she does in Trial of Abyss. Now for those that doesn't know, Trial of Abyss is very similar to AFK stages, it's just way more difficult. So this is a good way to evaluate if it's good for progressing in the story. We are starting out with Trial of Abyss Floor 2, and unfortunately this one was a pretty difficult and unfortunate one for Florabelle. She just couldn't do enough damage for us to beat the level. We actually ran out of time. And it's then when I realized that she has a lot of sustain. Yes, her damage is decent, but not exceptional when she's below Legendary. I know it's really good above Mythic Plus, especially Legendary Plus and around there, but I removed one tank and added another damage dealer, and I got a lot of success with her. I cleared a lot of Trial of Abyss levels with her without hitting any walls doing this method. And as you can see over here, I couldn't die. There was just an infinite loop of summoning and the enemy attacking the summons, and it was so good. So there is definitely some uses for Florabelle even if you don't have her above Mythic Plus. You also have so many summons on the level, so it's really a good feeling and a lot of damage that you get out and a lot of sustain that you get out. It really is a good combo with Cisia and Florabelle together. And as you can see, her damage is better than Vala, but the problem is she's only Legendary, so imagine she was at Supreme like my Vala, how much damage she would have done. It definitely seems like a good hero for story progression. So now comes the question, should you summon her? I would say it really depends on your budget of diamonds if it is worth to get her from the banner, which is more expensive than the all hero banner. My honest opinion is if you can get her to at least Legendary, which would cost less than 24,000 diamonds without any pity, and you think this will fit your team well after watching this video, then go for it. There seems to be some situations in PvP where she could help a lot. If you want to use her in PvP though, I would say sadly you will need to invest a bit more to make her compete with others. She seems to lack a bit in damage at first and gain a lot more damage after Mythic Plus and Supreme Plus. So if you are looking for damage and you can't invest into her, maybe rather wait for her to drop in the all hero banner, because Cisia is doing way more damage Mythic Plus than a Legendary Florabelle. On the other hand, Florabelle brings in a lot of sustain and she is really good at keeping the enemies busy with her summons. And this made me realize why she is a warrior. This allows you to run only one tank, allowing you to use another damage dealer or whatever you need at the backline. Let me know what you think about Florabelle in the comments down below, and make sure to check out these videos for more AFK Journey content.